Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Face Off Factory Game Day. We got Georgetown Richmond this week. This game featured Jared Chenoy, who's over 53% this year, and James Ball, who entered the top 10 last week. They battled for most of this. We have a few young stars in Jackson Strickland, Anthony DiCenzo, and Matthew Riley, who all made appearances. None of those guys want to draw, but this game I think is a great example of one, how to clear following faceoffs, and just two different styles of teams and how they play following wins. The first couple, we got a few earlies. And even I thought this third one was an early. Georgetown does a great job being ready in the box. And this pole does an excellent job handling, being poised. And we'll see this a lot today out of Georgetown, being very poised in the clearing game. And that was my big takeaway from this one. This is an awesome hustle play by Chenoy. He ends up running into trouble a little bit. Georgetown does a great job sandwiching him with those pulls, but Richmond does an even better job riding here, and they draw a foul. This is just great 10 on 10 scrap and lacrosse plays that lead to penalties and man up opportunities. Here we see Ball likes to flex that stick backwards a lot. He does an awesome job dragging through the shovel there and completing this defensive exit. Georgetown very content to clear, and you guys will see some clips where I let it play out, and they do a great job clearing. This was the end of the first quarter. Good heads-up play, just trying to get it on net. You see, new guy came in here. That was Strickland, and Ball recognized Rake, went with that backdoor rollout exit, and ended up getting the push call. We'd love to see him get that GB first time, but it was a really good job kind of trailing and following that butt end. Here, I think James should have shot that one instead of forcing it to the crease. You're inside 10 yards. Always be ready to pull the trigger when you get the ball. This is a great bounce back win by Chenoy. He runs right off, so we can kind of tell that Richmond doesn't play a whole lot of 6-on-5 with him. They like settling for the full possessions. Another early call this time on Richmond. And again, Ball content with just running off and not playing 6-on-5. I like when Georgetown utilized this going through the legs throughout the game. Their poles can handle this. Is a great job running away. He gets into a little bit of trouble here. I like how Richmond kind of forced him into the corner and then went pull on pull. Always be careful not to bring long sticks to your long stick who has the ball. Another VIO on Richmond. I think both teams now have two. So we'll see how this shakes out in the first half. And I don't love when you get the violation to pick it up and just throw it, and that's exactly why. We see the ball almost get picked off. Just let that wing guy pick it up and start in the middle of the field so he can kind of assess, read, and make a pass or a decision without getting into trouble like he did there. Another sense of Rake. Strickland must have been telegraphing. That's his second faceoff. Both times he beat him with that rollout exit, so maybe he had that in the scouting report on him. But really good job by James Ball. And you see Georgetown does an excellent job just being poised, handling Richmond's pressure and clearing. That was the third violation for Georgetown of the first half. They got flagged for that one. And now we start the second half. We'll see if any of these guys make adjustments. We see a little bit of leaning on Richmond's side. This is a great backdoor exit and a good box out. Again, Georgetown very poised going back. 1, 2, 3 quick passes. They get up and out on the opposite box side. Easy clear. Again, a little bit of leaning from Richmond. We see a drop back, and that's a great rollout exit, kind of handling pressure. I think Ball held up because he missed the shovel and almost came down on his hands. So really good job recognizing and not holding. This one, I feel like that was on the whistle, and he would have had a clean, fast break. The refs kind of cave. I would never advise to kind of complain and look at the refs, but it looks like there was a lot of whistle timing and guessing going on here. Another instance where Georgetown is very content going backwards and just getting into the clearing game. And they were almost perfect in the clearing game, I think, throughout. Here's a great win by Ball. Excellent look to the crease. Super savvy handle. And whenever teams cheat up on that point guy, you always want to look to that low base. There we see Matthew Riley get involved in the early party. Next face-off, really good rake. The sticks get caught together there. That's a great job by Ball fighting through this. Really good job by Georgetown. I think he should have headmanned this one because they would have had a clear 4-on-3 opportunity. Here we see a clean win. Richmond out the front. Let's see how they play in transition. I don't love kind of curling back behind that guy. Keep going into the net. Just draw the point guy and throw a little flip pass. They could have got a shot off it. This is a game where Richmond only scored 8 goals. So I think you got to take some of those chances in transition, especially when you're down later in the game. Another great job handling pressure. As you guys can see, both of these guys do an awesome job knowing when that shovel is going to come, being patient and kind of waiting for it and getting that left hand down so they counterproof their clamp and their exit and they're able to get out cleanly. Here, Ball does another really good job driving through that pressure. He pulls into pressure here, but you see Georgetown just kind of selling out. They don't get this one, but two guys diving for balls. You love to see it. Richmond actually gets a transition opportunity, so my takeaway would be if you're James Ball, don't run off the field there. You got the pull on the box side. Would you stay in the play? Final score, Richmond 14, or Georgetown 14, Richmond 8. This was a pretty good face-off battle. They ended up 14-12 in the final tally. Make sure you guys subscribe.